The average person tells themselves over 300 negative lies per day. 300 moments where your own mind convinces you that you are not enough, that you cannot do it, that others are judging you, that the world is against you. And the most terrifying part is that you believe almost every single one of them without question. Don Miguel Ruiz spent decades studying why human beings suffer unnecessarily, and what he discovered changed millions of lives forever. In 1997, he published a small book called The Four Agreements, and it became one of the most transformative self-help books ever written, selling over 10 million copies and spending over a decade on the New York Times bestseller list. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover exactly what those 4 agreements are, where they come from, and why most people who read this book still cannot fully live by its teachings. And there is one agreement in particular that most readers get completely wrong. They think it is the simplest one. It is actually the hardest thing a human being can do. Don Miguel Ruiz was born in rural Mexico, raised in a family of healers and shamans. His mother was a curandera, a faith healer, and his grandfather was a Nahual, a Toltec shaman. Ruiz was on a very different path though. He was studying to become a surgeon, following modern medicine rather than ancient wisdom. Then something happened that changed everything. He was in a near-fatal car accident, and in the moments between life and death, he had a profound awakening. He realized that his true self was not his physical body, not his profession, not the identity his family and culture had built for him. He went back to study the Toltec wisdom of his ancestors, and out of that study came the 4 agreements. The Toltec were not a religion or a race. They were a community of scientists and artists in ancient Mexico who studied consciousness, perception, and the human condition. Their central insight was this: every human being lives inside a dream. Not the dreams you have at night, but a waking dream, a constructed reality made entirely of agreements. Agreements you made with your parents, your teachers, your culture, your religion, your peers. Most of these agreements were made when you were a child, before you had the capacity to choose them consciously. And yet they run your entire life. Ruiz calls this process domestication. From the moment you are born, people around you begin teaching you what is real, what is acceptable, what is good and bad, what you should want, how you should behave. They reward you when you follow the agreements and punish you when you do not. Over time, you internalize those voices. You become your own judge, your own punisher. And the internal judge is often far more brutal than any external critic ever was. This is the system that the 4 agreements is designed to dismantle. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Now most people hear this and think it means do not lie, be honest. And yes, that is part of it. But Ruiz is pointing at something far deeper. The word impeccable comes from the Latin impeccabilis, meaning without sin. And in this context, sin means anything that goes against yourself. So being impeccable with your word means using the power of language only in the direction of truth and love. It means never using your words to gossip, to speak badly about others, or most importantly, to speak badly about yourself. Think about how often you say things like I am so stupid, I am terrible at this, I cannot believe I did that. Each of those statements is a spell you are casting on yourself. Words have creative power. The stories you tell about yourself become your reality. Ruiz argues that the entire human drama, every conflict, every war, every broken relationship, can be traced back to the misuse of the word. When you speak with integrity and use your words to build rather than destroy, everything in your life begins to shift. But here is what nobody talks about. Agreement number 1 is actually the hardest one to keep. Because being impeccable with your word requires complete self-awareness every single moment of every single day. It requires catching yourself before you gossip, before you catastrophize, before you let your inner critic run wild. Most people never make it here consistently, and that is okay, because the practice is the point. The second agreement is do not take anything personally. And this one has the power to completely transform how you experience the world. Ruiz makes a stunning claim here. He says that nothing other people do is because of you. Everything they do is a projection of their own dream, their own agreements, their own wounds, their own fears. When someone insults you, criticizes you, ignores you, or attacks you, they are not responding to the real you. They are responding to the character they have created in their mind, shaped by their own history and agreements. This is radical. Because we spend enormous amounts of emotional energy reacting to what other people think about us. We crave approval, we fear rejection, we reshape ourselves to fit other people's expectations. But if everyone is living inside their own dream, then their opinions are not ultimate truth. They are just data points filtered through someone else's unexamined agreements. When you stop taking things personally, you become immune to the poison that other people unintentionally spread. The third agreement is do not make assumptions. Ruiz argues that most human suffering comes from assumptions we make without checking their accuracy. We assume we know what someone meant by what they said. We assume we know how someone feels about us. We assume the worst in ambiguous situations. And then we act on those assumptions as if they were confirmed facts. The solution is almost embarrassingly simple: ask questions. Have the courage to communicate clearly. Ask for what you want. Say what you mean. This single practice, consistently applied, would eliminate the majority of misunderstandings and conflicts in your relationships overnight. What makes this so difficult is that making assumptions feels safer than asking direct questions. Asking requires vulnerability. It requires admitting that you do not already know. And in a culture that rewards confidence and certainty, admitting uncertainty can feel like weakness. But it is actually one of the most powerful things you can do. The fourth agreement is always do your best. And this is the one that holds all the others together. Ruiz adds a crucial qualifier here that most people miss. Your best will change from moment to moment. When you are sick, your best is different than when you are healthy. When you are exhausted, your best looks different than when you are rested. The agreement is not to perform perfectly every time. It is to show up with whatever you genuinely have available in any given moment, and do that fully, without holding back. This agreement liberates you from both self-judgment and guilt. If you always do your best, then you can never honestly say you should have done more. You did what you could with what you had. At the same time, doing your best prevents you from falling into the trap of complacency. It keeps you engaged, present, and moving forward even when circumstances are difficult. Together, these four agreements form a complete system for dismantling the old dream, the one built on other people's rules, and constructing a new dream, one built on truth, clarity, and genuine freedom. Ruiz calls this breaking the spell of domestication. It is not easy. It requires what he calls a warrior spirit, because you are fighting against a lifetime of deeply embedded programming. The real-world impact of these agreements is measurable in every domain of human experience. In relationships, not taking things personally and not making assumptions replaces reactive defensiveness with genuine curiosity. In professional life, being impeccable with your word builds trust at a level that most people never experience. In your internal life, always doing your best and speaking kindly to yourself gradually dissolves the inner judge that has been running your mental commentary for decades. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Book Notes Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.